Bonjour y'all, welcome back to Date Night with Blinky. We are carrying on with Highway Blossoms. Gonna try and find some treasure, I think. I'm real cold, so playing a game about the desert maybe helps. We'll see. I'm freezing to death. We clamber back inside the motorhome, leaving the dry hellishness behind. I turn the ignition and let the AC blast away the RV's stuffiness. Letting out breaths of sweet relief, Marina and I collapse back into our seats.
Alright, so where's the first piece of the treasure?
Well...
I read the book.
You have no idea, do you?
That's not true! The news said a part of it was somewhere here in New Mexico. Probably.
Look, I don't know American geography very well, but I'm assuming New Mexico isn't a small area. I'm not surprised at all. Should have seen this coming.
You have the journal?
Yeah?
She hands the cheap paperback book to me. The cover feels like it could fall apart at the turn of a page. The whole thing is fitting of its rustic design. I slide my thumb across the edges and flip through the pages. Thick forewords and passages commenting on the journal's historical significance pass my eyes. Most long enough to be their own book. Finally, a photocopied picture of one of the original entries appears. Preserving the faded cursive lettering, the entire thing printed on the next page over. Crusting brown stains and wrinkles engrave the photo. Some of the writing has been scratched out too, like someone made mistakes and couldn't erase them. I hate to admit it, but for something that's probably a sham, the thing looks pretty authentic. With bounty and satisfaction in hand, I am now homeward bound, the perilous journey forthcoming. Though my unrivaled intellect and through my unrivaled intellect and unmatched ambition, I have succeeded in accomplishing what many believed would no longer prove profitable. Of course, this only comes as a surprise to those around me, not myself. I have traveled this way on the trail with many others from the Missouri territory. But as my typical characteristic success grew, I could sense the envious stares among my so-called peers. The danger eventually became so great that I wished to flee, but my companions left before I woke. For what reason, you may ask? I do not know. It is with this in mind that I have taken it upon myself to leave a note for one of my fellow prospectors, and to borrow his steed so that I may one day return to settle with my family. But if this journey has taught me anything thus far, it is that jealous, conniving eyes are abundant. Excuse me. I was reading that. Yeah, I'm not reading all this crap. Where would I actually start? Come on, I was invested. Let's see. If he left California, lived in Missouri, and supposedly hit something in New Mexico, like Marina said, then we've got... what we're looking for is likely a later entry.
Ah, here we are.
Alas, I have reached the final point of division in my travels. During my stay among the ruined sanctuary, the rogue native Lamasi had informed me of a landmark that was rich in the mythos of his people. Considered sacred, he said that the chance of the gold being discovered very slim. He referred to it as Winged Rock, a monument erected towards the sky. After my previous detour, I finally arrived. It is with such much disbelief, I must say. My friend Lamasi was right. It's not just a monument erected towards the sky, it is a mountain. Almost as if the Lord himself had struck up the earth among the sand. It is guarded by trails of rocks around it, all branching from the mother rock. On this journey I have encountered many different sights, dangers, and yes, even an occasional friend. As I look upon the mountain before me, I am reminded once more that there are things bigger and greater than I. Although I am not yet rid of this cough, my soul has been humbled and removed of fatigue. I can think of no better place to store the lost of my gold, and I anxiously await the day I return.
What does it say?
Oh, I got an achievement.
The gist of it is that it's near a big rock and a bunch of little rocks.
That's not quite close. It's a mountain with smaller mountains.
That should narrow it down, right?
Sure.
Yeah, to the entire state of New Mexico.
Marina gasps and lunges towards the journal, the muscles in her neck tensed and her eyes wide with panic.
That can't be the only thing he mentioned. There has to be more.
Alright, chill. I raise the journal high above me so she can't reach it, using my hand as a blockade against her head as she desperately tries to grasp for it.
Sheesh, relax for a second. I actually have a pretty good idea of where it might be.
She settles down, still stiff with anxiety, nibbling on the tip of her thumb. You bite your thumb at me, sir. I lower the book back down and read over the entry one more time just to make sure.
There's a part where he calls it a winged rock. Assuming my years of reading travel guides and brochures weren't totally useless, then I'm pretty sure that's a loose translation of what the Navajo used to call shiprock.
There's a ship out in the desert? Whoa!
I peer over the journal. Marina's imagination is going bonkers, her eyes alight as she tries to wrap her head around such a novelty even existing.
How long have you lived in New Mexico?
Marina swells up with pride, only to deflate like a balloon before speaking, instead of choosing to blow a misplaced strand of hair out of her way.
All my life.
I sigh and slam the journal shut.
It's a small mountain near the border of New Mexico and Utah that's vaguely shaped like a ship.
Oh, okay. That makes way more sense.
I'm surprised you haven't heard of it. Thing's a landmark.
Yeah. But hey, at least I know now.
Yeah, small mercy. Shrugging, I put away the journal and smirk. Misplaced as it might be, her cheeriness is a good mix-up from the norm.
Do you think the treasure might be there?
Don't know, but it's worth a shot. We don't have anything else to go on. Sure you don't want me to just take you home?
Marina hesitates for a moment, turning to the windshield as if to dodge the question with her eyes.
No, I think I want to do this.
Alright then.
Put the car in drive and look ahead. Sun has set, the blue shade of dusk rising up to take its place. Press down on the gas. Marina turns to me and smiles.
Let's hit the road.
The sun has long since set and given way to darkness. Only my headlights remain, illuminating the road and silhouetting the small rock formations around us. I've been alternating between the old tape and new ones, immediately throwing the old tape after finish a new one, and vice versa. I haven't had any complaints from Marina. She's been sitting at my side the entire time, softly humming off-key to the music. She seems to be the type to just accept things as they are, like with her car being stolen, or that treasure. Especially that treasure. And to make it worse, it's not just her. Apparently it's some phenomenon now. Goes to show how much I keep up with current events. But the whole thing smells like a scam. I bet somewhere all the big shots from the publishing house are all gathered up in their corporate tower, laughing at the idiots they've ripped off with that book. Christ, even I'm starting to sound like him. The music turns to static before the cassette is silenced by a loud click. I ejected and reached for his old tape again. Marina notices, taking the opportunity to break the long-held silence.
So, do you like music a lot?
Oh, yeah, I guess.
I figured. You've been playing those tapes this entire time.
Do you usually not listen to music when you're driving? Do you listen to audiobooks? She picks up one of the tapes of the center console and inspects it, going as far as to poke her pinky through one of the holes.
Though, I'm not sure what you'd call this type of music.
Royalty free.
Yeah, I've just been playing whatever. Mostly jazz fusion and alt country.
What?
Threw in some new age crap in there for good measure.
What's alt country? Is it like Orville Peck?
Most of these are mixtapes I made when I was little.
No, cute.
Cool. Any names I'd recognize?
She peeks at me through the holes of the cassette, wearing a wide, genuine smile.
Probably not.
Aw, come on. Try me.
Why not? Maybe I'm not giving her enough credit.
You know, Gabriel, Gertu, Weather Report, Donovan, Metheny.
Metheny? Marina gives the sage-like nods and grunts of understanding as I list off the names.
You have no idea who any of them are, do you?
Not a clue.
That's what I thought.
Metheny.
Sorry. I usually listen to whatever's on the radio.
I crack a slight smile.
It's alright. I could see how it might be hard to get into. My gramps used to call it road trip music.
I still think it's nice, though. It's making you really happy.
You think so?
She taps her fingers gently against my cheek. I pull away a little, but let her do it anyway.
Yeah, why else would you be smiling?
I never really thought of whether it made me happy before. But I do know it made him happy, so that's good enough for me.
That's actually why I'm going to California. You know, for a music festival.
Oh.
For real? Where?
Not far from Palm Springs.
Palm Springs? Like the actual Palm Springs?
Don't know if there are any other Palm Springs in California, but yeah, they do it every year for a few weekends.
I went to my first concert a little before I graduated.
She rests her head against the window and stares out the road ahead, her smile fading, but still there.
It was so much fun. An entire weekend of that sounds super awesome.
Who did you go see?
Nah, it ain't that cool.
Said Brian Adams. Rena flings her head away from the window and turns to me. Now she's staring at me like I'm crazy.
How could you even say that? It's the coolest thing ever! I wouldn't even be able to wait. I'd want to see all the bands.
Sheesh, relax. It's not like I'm taking it for granted. It's just that there's only one group I know I want to see so far.
That's right. His favorite group.
Just one?
He was so excited when he got the tickets.
Just one that I'm excited for. I'll watch a bunch though.
Releasing a long sigh, Marina eases back into her seat.
Oh, good. I was afraid you were going to head home after you saw your group.
You crazy? I'd like to at least have a little fun before worrying about all the expenses I gotta deal with.
Oof.
Expenses?
Damn it.
It's nothing.
She gasps.
Are you in debt? Is it college loans? My brother said those aren't fun to deal with at all.
Ah, I got so comfortable. Should have kept my strap shut.
Or did you just spend too much on your
Without warning, I swerve off to the side of the road and onto rocky sand, cutting Marina off and nearly giving her a heart attack. Why would you do this? Marina shoots me a worried glance, her face still pale.
Oh my god! What was that? Are you okay?
I pinch the bridge of my nose and my elbows on the wheel.
Amber?
I've been driving all day. I'm a little tired.
A little.
Where are we?
A little outside Albuquerque, so we aren't too far now. We'll sleep here tonight and drive to Shiprock first thing in the morning.
Alright. Killing the ignition, I climb out of my seat and into the living quarters. Marina trails behind me. I yank open the bathroom Velcro-latched cupboards. Inside is a folded stack with a blanket, sheet pillow, and my old gym clothes from school. Scoop them up and toss them to Marina. She scrambles to catch it, desperately balancing them as they lean out of her arms.
Sorry about the clothes. I don't have any actual pajamas. You can sleep on the couch. It folds out into a bed.
Oh, okay.
There's more than one bed.
Alright then, see you in the morning.
With that, I step into the back room and slam the sliding door before collapsing onto the oversized bed. Even in the darkness, I can make out the pictures hanging on the wall. Once upon a time, they were generic scenic pieces. Now they're photos. Photos of me and Gramps. Oh, my favorite is the one of us in front of a museum for music. Rock and roll, to be specific. I was just a little pipsqueak back then, holding up an autographed vinyl sleeve that was about the size of my hand. He was by my side, squatting down and ruffling my hair as I gave the biggest smile I could, even with my missing teeth. I let out a sigh and fix it on the ceiling skylight, a small sliver of the moonlight shining through. Feels like an eternity since I've laid down in his bed. Remember, it felt like being hugged by a cloud. Now it feels like concrete. Tiny creaks sound from the room next door, accompanied by Marina's little squeaks of determination as she struggles with the fold-out bed. Until finally I hear a loud thud. Oh, she's a disaster. Can't help but smirk a little. Should have warned her that it was heavy. The room over goes silent. I hope it didn't crush her. Luckily I soon hear footsteps tiptoeing across the carpet, then on the bathroom tile. They stop outside my door.
Hey, are you awake?
Her voice is weak, barely above a whisper. It's almost impossible to hear as it's muffled through the door.
I know I've said it a lot already, but I really mean it. Thanks, Amber. Good night.
Oh. I continue to stay silent. In the dark, the ceiling looks like it's constantly changing in size and dimension. Sometimes getting bigger and further away, other times getting closer and smaller. I look down. Through the crack under the door, I can see her shadow turning around to leave. The words slip out of my mouth before she can even take the first step.
Night, kiddo.
Ooh. Hold on, was that just the intro? Goodness gracious.